wait a little bit of time until the installation is complete. Alright, so I already have here some projects, but if you don't have any projects here, you can hit new and select a type of project, three-dimensional or two-dimensional. Select a project name and also a location. Alright, so I'm going to do a new project for the sake of this video. Let's see. First I'm going to create a project. It's a three-dimensional project, and I want to show you a bunch of stuff about this one. Alright, so first of all, if you don't see these windows, this one C, you can find it on window and scene. If you are not seeing it, asset store, also window, asset store. Every window you're gonna find right here. So this scene window is used for placing objects inside it. So if I want to create a new object, so a new standard object, for instance a cube, I'm going to right click on hierarchy, select 3D object and press cube. Every object that we are creating right here in hierarchy has some components, and the main component is transform. The transform stores information about position, rotation and scale, and also we're gonna see different components right here. So every component from here is a script, and the base component is this transform. This project window is a window that where we can store information for this project. Is not dynamically, so the hierarchy is dynamically, and this one is going to store information on the hard drive. And for instance, if you want to make this cube, if you want to store this cube, you're going to drag it into the asset, and it's going to create a prefab, so-called prefab. Alright, and we have a prefab right now that is stored. And if you are changing something, for instance, if you duplicate this one, and if we add on this cube, we add a component, for instance here on the store, we add for instance a new script called prefab script. Alright, when we are going back in our cubes, we can see that these cubes actually get the prefab script that I've created from the store components. So here we store components, here we store scripts, and in asset we store files, we store everything that we work with into this hierarchy and into this game. Inspector, so in inspector we're gonna see the components of an object, and every component, as I told you, is on script. So if you don't believe me, I want to check for the cube. So we're gonna find a mesh filter. If you're going here into the mesh filter, let's see, switch to scripting. If we press this button, we're gonna see that this mesh filter is actually a script, and is having a lot of bunch of stuff like variables, members, and public functions, everything else as a usual script. And actually this mesh filter inherits from component, and if you want to see the component script, you're gonna see this component field. So this Unity documentation is is helping us for finding scripts that we want to see, or methods that we want to implement, and we want to see, we search them for knowing what to do into the game. So every script that we add in here is going to affect the object, the current object. And if you want to get, for instance, we have this prefab script cube, and if you actually want to get information about this cube inside the script, I'm going to open right now this script, so I'll show you. I'm using a Visual Studio as a script editor. Initially you're gonna see the mono develop. Alright, why is taking so much to open the Visual Studio? So if you press here on File, Build Settings, I haven't told you, you're gonna see here Scene in Build, and if you press here Add Open Scenes, we don't have any stored scenes. So this scene with this cube, we haven't stored it yet. So if you press here File, Save Scene, we have to get a name, to write a name here. So I'm going to write here First Scene, and if you press here Save, after that we're going to File, Build Settings. If we press here Add Open Scene, we can see that the current scene, first scene, is added to the build settings. And for instance, if you want to create another scene, new scene, and I want to add here a sphere, and I'm going to save it as sphere scene, I can actually add it to the build settings. And when we are starting this game on a different platform, we choose the platform where we want to work. The first scene that is going to load is the 0. The first scene from here is 0 scene. So if you're changing this one, if you move this sphere scene into the first place, it's going to load when the application is started. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to make a quick test. I'm going to press build and run. Alright, let's see here. I'm going to make a folder. I'm going to make an executable. Let's make a folder first. New Unity project. Let's make here a folder. Executable Windows. Alright, and let's write here first scene. It's just a random name, it doesn't matter. So I want to show you that the first scene that is loading the sphere scene, and the target platform is Windows. Alright, so I've opened this prefab script, and what I wanted to show you that is, if you want to get these two methods, this method is for initialization and this one is called every frame of the game. So if we want to if you want to get information about the current game object, just press game object. And for instance, if I want to get information about its transform, we just press game object that get component, and we choose the transform component. And by doing this, we are getting the transform component of the current object. Alright, let's play this one and let's see what is happening when we hit play. As you can see, it loads the sphere scene. Alright, so because it's the first scene here. Alright, so inside this script that I showed you, the prefab script, that is actually is not in this scene. Is in the first scene. Into these cubes, if we are writing something like, if you want to get its position, for instance, I'm going to make here, I'm going to change position 10 0 0 and position let's see 0 10 0 for these two objects. It's just a random thing. If you want to get this transform object inside the script, when the initialization starts, if you want to get the transform and I want to get the position, let's print it by pressing this debug log. We can get information about the transform component and its position by doing this. Let's see. So debug the below game object get component transform that position. I guess maybe we have to write to string, but it should actually write something there. Message. So message and the position of the object. Let's check if the objects are attached. Let's try again. We should get something here into it. Yeah, and we get message and we get the first position and the second position, and this sorry, someone just entered inside my room. So if we are seeing here, the first object from the first cube is at 10 0 0 and the second one is at 0 10 and 0. And why this message, why the first message is printed the second cube, and why the second message, so the second message has printed the first cube and the first message actually has printed the second cube. And I guess this is a random thing and it's not something that we have to worry about it, but we get this position. So by doing this stuff, by doing this debug the upload and game object get component, we can get these current components and we can use them into our script. Or we can do another way. We just use here a public or private transform. We give it a name and we do something like this equals with, and we get its transform. And after that, when we have this transform, we just write debug the upload. Debug upload is using for printing messages for debugging. So debug the upload and db the app position, and we get the position and we write the same message. This is the same thing, with the difference that we are storing that stuff. Alright, let's see. We are storing that stuff into this transform that we call with a random name, and we should get the same message as before. Alright, so these are the base window: controls, game, scene, hierarchy, inspector, and asset. And actually the lighting used for lighting inside this scene, and all are the main camera is used for recording into this scene. And actually we can attach a script here to the main camera, and we can do what we want. We can do what we want into the game. So this was it. Sorry for the sorry if I mistake something and I haven't explained you very well. I hope you understand the basic and main thing in install how we can do games here. But I'm going to add another. I'm going to start a game, easy game, and I'm going to show you step by step how you can do stuff inside this application and how you can do games. And what is nice about this application is because it's free. It has this personal edition that is free, and this multiple platform web player. Let's see, yeah, we can change for Linux because we installed that. If you look the previous video, I installed it for Linux, Mac, and for Windows, the platforms. And actually I can actually use Android, and with we have to do a little bit of you have to change something into the code if you want to export for this platform. But these two platform goes like almost the same. With you have to change something, but if you want just to do games for PC, just select this platform and do here stuff. So I've told you about scenes, I've told you about this base windows, and I've told you about scripting, about objects and components inside the application. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned. I'm going to make a simple game. I'm going to show you how you can do stuff there. Have a nice day.